Hello and welcome to the show. And if you're as old as us, then you'll remember when, way back in 2008, LiveU disrupted the market, specifically news gathering, initially in the US and then globally with their cellular bonding technology, allowing for live video transmissions anywhere in the world.
Yeah, 2008 seems rather a long time ago now, doesn't it? Well, more recently, they've gained traction in the sports market with the mobility, flexibility, speed of deployment, and their highly cost-effective solutions. This has meant that the relatively expensive satellite and fibre connections are no longer necessarily needed.
So with that, we'd like to welcome Ophir Zardok from LiveU into the studio. So Ophir, how do the challenges vary between the two sectors of news gathering and sports, as I'm sure there's some overlapping requirements there?
Yeah, hi guys. Thanks for having me here. For the past few years, the company has gained great traction in the sports market, working with the FIA World Rally Championship, ITV Sports for the Rugby World Cup in 2019, and Wilkie TV for cycling coverage, as just a few examples. While there are some overlapping requirements, the exemption level can be very different, and the need for more camera unit per event is clear in the sports market, with even greater flexibility and creative angles.
So, can you tell us a bit more about how LiveU has tackled the sports world, and what does it allow broadcasters and streamers and rights holders to do now that they couldn't necessarily do before?
I think that one of the key differences is that sports events are obviously planned well in advance, allowing producers the chance to better prepared before the events, which is crucial. The news market is more about speed of deployment and being in the right time in the right place. Picture and audio quality requirements at sports are badly needed, and also robust multi-camera coverage, whatever technology are deployed. And I think that another very important point is that we are closely working with our clients. So, for example, if there is a motor racing competition, we are going in advance, testing the course, making sure that everything can work quite smoothly.
So sticking with the sports market then, what are the latest developments from LiveU in this sector?
Yeah, further expanding for LiveU reach across the sports market is key reason behind the launch of the company's new multi-camera LU800. The company recognized that in order to push further into the tier one sports use, we have to take the technology to the next level. Central to the multi-camera capabilities of the LU800, alongside increased audio and video quality, as well as pushing further into remote production.
So, okay, 2020 has undoubtedly been a year when we've seen a real acceleration of technology that probably was originally planned to roll out over the next couple of years. Are you going to put some importance? How important now is remote production in the sports market?
Yeah, very is the simple answer. I mean, we've seen increasing use of our remote at-home production solution over the last 2 years. I mean, being IP-based, the company's technology is inherently suited to remote production. I think that what the industry is now witnessing is a rapidly increasing interest in the remote production and remote working more generally. I think in the time of COVID, in the past few years, remote production was a nice buzzword in order to reduce cost and make the production more efficient. But now it's about safety. Keep people away from the venue as much as they can, and to minimize the amount of people on site. So now what we see is that broadcasters who had only looked at remote production before are now taking it much more seriously. And that's one of the reasons for what we did with the LU800. We expect the remote production use to grow significantly. Of course, we all know that the sports market has been badly hit by the COVID globally. But we see now that there's a significant sign for recovery across certain sports and regions. LiveU remote production solution reduces the cost of number of people on site, as I mentioned before, which is the key for all these concepts.
So we focused so far on the LU800. Have you got any examples of it being used recently?
Yes, uh, uh, it was used over at the Cartier Queen Polo Cup in Windsor in the UK. And the cool thing about it was that the event was actually in the UK, but the entire production, the graphics, the director, everybody were set back in South Africa and creating all this production remotely from South Africa, where the units were physically over in Windsor in the UK.
Right, this is a thing now. I mean, it's not easy to predict the future for any industry sector right now. But what areas do you see growing for LiveU, and where are you putting all your development resources at the moment?
I mean, we continue to see growing interest in our solution for live news and sports. As the market is moving more into cloud production, we are expanding our offering into this area as well in remote production to address the growing needs of organizations in today's world.
Finally, Ophir, as an industry all about the people, just before we let you go, can you tell us something about you that the industry and maybe even your colleagues at LiveU don't yet know?
It's a good question. Basically, I think that being in LiveU is a great opportunity. It's an amazing place to be in at the moment, especially where we identified sports as a growing vertical and working in that area. But I'm also wearing another hat, which is UEFA venue director. I'm working as a freelance for UEFA, organizing UEFA Champions League and Europa League matches all over Europe. Only last week I was organizing a UEFA Champions League playoff match over in Tel Aviv, of Maccabi Tel Aviv playing Salzburg, and I think 2 years ago it was the quarterfinal of Porto playing Liverpool. So I think that I have quite a good balance between working on the technology side, but also being to work on site and get these fingers dirty.
That's fascinating. That's brilliant. I'm very impressed. Well, thank you very much for watching and today, and thanks to Ophir from LiveU for coming on the show. To see all our video interviews and kit reviews, then head over to Kit Plus TV, which is brought to you with the support of Media Proxy, and you can find out more about them at mediaproxy.com.